UFC 328 just happened over the weekend. This was an absolute banger of a pay-per-view or numbered card, whatever you want to call it nowadays. I apologize for getting this out so late. This will come out on Monday. Uh, I was visiting family over the weekend, and I locked in to watch the main card. I only got to catch like one fight on the prelims, unfortunately, but I locked in to watch the main card, and I was very pleased. Not just with like outcomes, because pretty much every fighter that I wanted to win, besides one on this main card, won their fights. But also I did pretty well on picks in the prelims and main card. Besides the main event, I got every single fight of my bad, every single fight of the main card correct. Besides our main event, and I only got two prelims wrong. I got Pat Sabatini versus William Gomez wrong, and I got Joel Alvarez versus Yaroslav Amosov wrong. But other than that, got every single prelim right, and almost every main card fight right besides our main event. But without further ado, let's just talk about this main event that happened. Sean Strickland wins by split decision against Khamzat Chimaev. Strickland is the GOAT of being an underdog. And yeah, I mean, nobody, after the first round, I think everyone was thinking the exact same thing of like, all right, it was a fun 15 seconds before Hamzat took him down, and this is going to be the fight for the next 25 minutes. Hamzat was holding Strickland down. Strickland had no answer for it. But round two starts up, and it's just a totally different fight. Then let me actually expand this. Totally different fight than the first round. With Sean uh actually being on top, like, and getting control, which you would never expect to see Hamza Chimaev being on bottom. But Sean Strickland just not teeing off, but really fighting well with his jab. He didn't use the teep as much because I think he knew that would get him taken down pretty quickly. But just establishing the jab, and he wasn't walking Hamzat down, but Hamzat was walking into Strickland's strikes every time they were standing up. So Sean just completely uh being more accurate than Hamzat on the feet, just landing a lot more of his strikes. Hamzat's got a nasty jab as well, but he just wasn't landing it like Sean was able to land it. And when Hamzat went for a takedown in this round, Sean not only sprawled, was able to defend it, but it also ended with him getting top control. And I think the round might have ended like that, if I remember correctly. So great second round out of Strickland, and gave a lot of momentum going into the third round, which I believe Sean also won. Uh, it was really more the same. Besides, from Sean being on top, he didn't get that again in the rest of the fight, if I remember correctly. But he just kept establishing that jab, making sure Hamzat, even if he was advancing, was getting was just walking into Sean's strikes, and was doing a really good job defending the grappling. Uh, it was just I've never seen anything like it, even against better wrestlers. Like Chimaev did better against like Kamaru Usman, who's one of the best wrestlers in the UFC, and Sean was just able to defend the grappling better. And it says Khamzat landed 9 takedowns. That is kind of misleading because a lot of the time Sean would just be on his knee and would be able to get up and get out of a clinch and get back to striking. So that's basically the third round went. It was more of the same when it came to striking from Strickland, and I don't think Khamzat shot a takedown in the third round. Could be wrong about that, but it is something I remember like thinking I'd be like, wow, it's really weird how he isn't shooting at all. Might have been an injury, might have just been the weight cut, had him too winded. Uh, but yeah, third round, another good one for Sean. Fourth round, I gave to Khamzat. Uh, because he was, in my opinion, more dominant with the striking on in this round, and his grappling was more. I don't know what the word is like useful. He was more dominant in the grappling. Uh, Sean wasn't as responsive or wasn't able to defend the grappling as much, and that led to Hamzat being able to control him easier, uh, and more grappling control from Hamzat. So I gave that round to Chimaev, making it 2-2 for me going into the fifth round. And fifth round was very close. I gave it to Sean. He was more accurate with his strikes. Both guys were more or less just trying to strike in this round. Sean did obviously attempt to grapple. Sean did a great job defending it, but Sean was just more accurate, doing more damage in this round, and so many. And this is the partly the UFC's fault for why so many people think Chimaev won. They kept showing like advancing stats and like octagon control stats, and that doesn't count in the scoring anymore. So a lot of people think this fight was a robbery because of that, and they need to like it's kind of the UFC's fault because that doesn't even count anymore in striking or in scoring. So yeah, like Hamzat was advancing for the majority of the fight, but he would just walk into Sean's strike. Sean did more damage in round five, back to what I was saying with round five. And this fight shouldn't have been a split decision. It should have been 48-47 Sean Strickland across the board. I don't know how you can give this fight to Chimaev and like it's the UFC's fault partly for showing these stats and making people think that would count in the scoring criteria when it doesn't. Uh, but yeah, Sean Strickland won. It should have been unanimous decision, but whatever. It was a close fight. Split decision for Sean Strickland. Never felt so American in my life. This was a great, really technical fight. I loved watching it. Yeah, that was the main event. Moving on to our co-main event. I picked Joshua Van to win this fight, and Joshua Van did such a good job bouncing back from that first round. I keep trying to fix saying but it's like a habit. I'm trying to avoid it. My bad. Joshua Van wins the fight. This first round, Tatsuro Taira controlled him. Joshua Van eventually does a great hip escape, and or that might have been Joaquin Buckley that did a hip escape one time before he just got smothered again. I'll get to that in a little bit. Tatsuro Taira was, God damn it, I keep doing it, smothering Joshua Van in this round. And I thought I was hopeful still, but I was thinking, all right, so we're about to get 2 fights worth of smudge grappling. Tatsuro Taira is more entertaining than Khamzat Chimaev, and this is coming from someone that doesn't think Khamzat Chimaev is boring. He had one boring fight. I thought that it was gonna end up being a Taira submission with how the first round was going. Joshua Van gets out of it, and he just starts putting belt to ass on Taira in the striking starting in round two. Might have been the end of round one, now that I think about it. That knockdown that Van scored that kind of signaled where this fight was going to go. And by this point, every time Taira tried to grapple in the second, third, fourth, and the part of the fifth round that was there, Van was just doing a better job at escaping. He was showing more longevity. Both these guys do have crazy longevity. Tatsuro Taira has a hell of a chin. It was unbelievable because most flyweights would be put away. Almost every flyweight would be put away by most of the strikes that Josh Van was putting on Tatsuro Taira in the lead up to that TKO in the 5th round. But Joshua Van just starts putting belt to ass. The striking was unbelievable out of Joshua Van. And like I just said, he would have finished most flyweights with his striking. Tatsuro Taira has an unbelievable chin. It was a great performance an unbelievable performance out of Joshua Van. And it was a great showing of heart from Tatsuro Taira. I know he's going to be back at this top level. He'll definitely get a title match again. He's really good. Um, but Joshua Van, as you can see on the stats, was the only guy to attempt a submission, which is pretty funny considering Tatsuro Taira is a submission artist. 2 sub attempts. I think it was a guillotine and a rear naked choke. It might have been 2 rear naked chokes. I can't really remember because it's been 2 days since the fights happened. But great, great fight. I'm so excited for the Pantoja rematch. I picked Joshua Van going into the Pantoja match, and I still really consider it like a win from Joshua Van. It was a freak accident, but it did end with him being the champion. I cannot wait for the match between Pantoja and Van, the rematch. I think it's going to be such a high skill, like technical matchup. I really can't wait. And yeah, great showing from Joshua Van. Excellent showing of heart from Tatsuro Taira. Can't wait to see both of these guys continue fighting. I can't wait for Pantoja to come back. Next up, we have Volkov versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. This was a clear win from Volkov. A lot of people saying it was a robbery and that Waldo Cortez Acosta won. I think that's pretty stupid. It was an easy 29-28 decision from Volkov, and that's what I said would happen. I, actually, now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I said it would be a round 3 or 4 TKO from Joshua Van. It's pretty close to that. I said it would be a 29-28 from Volkov, and that's what it was. I gave rounds 1 and 2 to Volkov and round 3 to Waldo. I might have given round 2 to Waldo, actually. But it was pretty clear that Volkov won. He invested way more in kicks, and that won him the fight. Um, you can see it's actually pretty crazy. All of these guys' strikes were significant strikes. Volkov just invested more in kicks to the leg and body, which brought his strike number up significantly, which led to him winning the fight. I don't have as much to say about this fight other than the fact that Waldo is good. He's definitely a has the potential to be an elite guy at heavyweight because he did give Volkov some problems, but it wasn't. He's not there yet. Volkov probably going to get a title shot off of this match. I don't have as much to say because it was like, yeah, both of these guys were throwing. They landed. Volkov landed more. 2-1 Volkov to end it. Like, let me see. Yeah, I'd say that round 3 was most arguable for Waldo. They were very close in strike numbers. I think Waldo was doing a little more with when he was landing. But there's not much to say other than this wasn't a robbery. And Volkov probably going to get a title shot after this because he definitely beat Gon that time. I don't want to see him fight Gon again. I'd be really pissed off if he did. Yeah, not much else to say about this fight. I feel like I'm not doing enough justice talking about these fights, analyzing as much as I want to, but because I feel like they're not as fresh in my head as they were. But I didn't have my laptop with me and I didn't get home until pretty late last night. I just wanted to go to sleep. Uh, so that's why I'm doing this recap now. And these fights aren't as fresh in my head. Like I remember how they went, but not the more technical parts of it, like who was doing what in each round, who was getting more control. I do remember that, but not as vividly as I would if I did an immediate recap. I promise this isn't the norm. But moving on, Sean Brady versus Joaquin Buckley. Joaquin Buckley is just not that good, dude. Like he's such a good striker. Let me make that abundantly clear. He's such a fun, entertaining striker. But you had a year to train grappling, a whole year, and this is how you come back. This is your big comeback fight against another really good grappler in Sean Brady. Look at these stats. It's ridiculous. And Joaquin Buckley, when he was smart about it, could defend takedowns. Sean Brady only had a 40% takedown accuracy in this fight, but he still was able to hold down Joaquin Buckley for the entire fight because he would make such stupid decisions, like going for like a flying knee, which leads to an immediate takedown from a seasoned grappler. And Joaquin Buckley didn't even have that much damage taken because he was getting hit with like little baby punches on the ground. But it doesn't matter because he was just getting outclassed entirely by Sean Brady. Great performance by Sean Brady. Let me stop shitting on Joaquin Buckley for a second and let me talk about how good Sean Brady was in this fight. He is definitely a top level guy, and he has the ability to beat guys that are a lot bigger than him with his grappling, but he's a small welterweight. He has momentum again at welterweight, so it's hard to justify him going down. But guys at the top where he's at now are just a lot bigger than him, and these guys can grapple as well. So I feel like he would make such a run at lightweight, but I'm gonna say stay in welterweight for now. You got momentum again with such a good performance. And Joaquin Buckley's a unit, dude. He's an absolute unit, but he can't grapple. So he's definitely not gonna be this top level guy anymore. That everyone was kind of hoping he would be because he was so fun and entertaining on the come up in welterweight. After he moved down from middleweight, just some of his knockouts, like that knockout of Wonder Boy before the Usman fight. Like I was watching that, I was like, yeah, Wonder Boy's washed, but that was a crazy KO. Back to this fight though. Just looking at the round one stats, one strike from Joaquin Buckley in this round, 51 from Sean Brady. All we needed was one takedown to land, and he just held Joaquin Buckley down. It was ridiculous. That's a 10-8. That's a 10-8 round, you could argue. You could argue that you could argue any of these rounds are a 10-8. This like round two wasn't much better because yeah, Joaquin Buckley landed 10 more strikes, but Sean Brady went from 51 in round one to 90 in round two. Just little pillow strikes on the ground. If you were watching the fight, he was just kind of like, like I don't have. I did a little demonstration, but I don't have a camera on me, so I can't really show it. But just really like soft strikes just to get the strike counter up. Not enough to like end the fight, but just enough to be ridiculously dominant. And it was even worse in round three, 149 in strikes. And all it took was one takedown, two in round two. But all it took was four over the course of the fight to control Joaquin Buckley and have him just not get up. He got up once. He had a good hip escape in round 2. But I don't know how much more Joaquin Buckley can do because he was in the lab for a year trying to get his grappling better, trained with Kamaru Usman. I thought that was going to be a relatively big thing. Like, that could change his grappling skill. And since he's so much bigger than Sean Brady, like, and overall better on the feet, this could be a lot closer of a fight than we think. It wasn't. And if Joaquin Buckley trained for a year in grappling with Kamaru Usman, and this was the result, I don't know what you can do to get that much better. You have to take another year off. I just don't know. It makes me pissed because I was so high on Joaquin Buckley when he was tearing through the rankings up to his Wonder Boy win. I was like, wow, like this is gonna be insane. I thought he was gonna beat Kamaru Usman, and now we're here, and it's 2 fights, but it was like an embarrassing showing from 2 fights. Great job to Sean Brady. Can't wait to see what he continues to do in the top level of welterweight. Joaquin Buckley, I don't know what you need to do, but you got to lock in. Now, back to the first fight of the main card. In my last video, I was calling Bobby Queen Green. I'm done with that. We love Bobby Green. He put on a great showing against Jeremy Stevens. Put belt to ass, 64-7 on total strikes, and not that far off in significant strikes. And Bobby Green winning by submission in 2026 at 39 years old. This was such a good performance, masterclass from Bobby Green. I predicted a first round TKO, KO TKO, in my predictions video, I believe. Wasn't expecting Bobby Green to get a submission, but that's just how the cookie crumbles. I love seeing Bobby Green do it this well, and I hope he gets a ranked opponent. He is still really good at 39, which is a really rare thing to see. Jeremy Stevens, I think it's time for you to go. But there's not much else to say about this fight. Bobby Green was just like fully dominating in the striking. And then to get a submission is like such a crazy thing to see. I loved watching it. Really happy with Bobby Green. Or maybe we call him King Green now. Really happy with King Green in this fight. Loves to see it. And he's getting his own custom shorts, which will be really cool to see. For it's nice to have like a company man like this, even though he's not like a top guy, which is everyone that gets their custom shorts. You're basically fighting in a championship fight or a main event. It's cool to see Bobby Green get his own custom shorts. Shows that not just champs and top contenders, but veterans and guys who've been good for the company as well get to have their own shorts. Didn't get a performance bonus, which sucks, but hopefully in the next one, he deserves a ranked opponent. I can't wait to see. But yeah, really happy with Bobby Green in this fight. Not gonna lie, the only prelim I saw was Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. I missed every other prelim because I was either out and about or I like took a nap midday, woke up, realized it was Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Or no, I was out for all the out and about for all the early prelims. Came back, saw Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon was on, watched it, fell asleep right before the Grant Dawson fight was happening. Woke up at like 8:40 and was like it was like laying there for a second, was like, oh, I gotta get up before this fight starts. Get up, get ready for the main card to start, and that was basically how I missed the prelims of this card. Same thing happened to me for Perth, which that was more justifiable because it was uh 4 a.m. when I had to get up for that. I'm not built like Australian fans. I can't really do that consistently. I'm sure I'd learn to if I had to. But nonetheless, let me talk about Jim Miller versus Jared Gordon. Masterclass from, I don't know why he keeps doing this. Masterclass from Jim Miller. Love to see it. Oldest, I don't know if he's actually the oldest guy on the roster anymore. I think he is though. Jared Gordon tries to take Jim Miller down, hits him. Sorry, I like spazzed out for a second. Uh, Jim Miller isn't silly. He jumps the gilly and gets the win. Overall, it was pretty close in the striking, but Jared Gordon should know better than to leave his head open like that against Jim Miller, who is known that is like his submission, the guillotine. So a little bit stupid there by Jared Gordon. But overall, it shows that Jim Miller's still in it. He still got it. And I think that was his 48th fight. So we probably got 2 left in the tank. We have 2 left in the tank. Hopefully he can go on a little bit of a run at the tail end of his career. But you'll love to see it from Jim Miller. He got taken down once, got up, a little bit of striking. Jared Gordon goes for another takedown. Jim Miller is a machine with the guillotine, by the way. It is actually impressive to see, especially with a guy at his age being able to just immediately lock that guillotine. And it was tight. Like that's the type of submission that like you rarely see being locked that quickly from a guy that is at his level at this point of his career. You rarely see submissions being locked like that so quickly. Love to see it though. Jim Miller, another win in the year of our Lord 2026. Jared Gordon, I don't know what we're gonna do with you. I don't know what gym he trains at because I know he isn't far from where I am. He trains in NYC, but yeah, let's just go through these early prelims real quick. Jose Ochoa won. I chose him. I chose Batsingo Suzukaev. From what I've seen, he's not as good as everyone's hyping him up to be, but he did catch a submission in round 3. I chose William Gomez to win this fight. Roman Kopylov won. Underdog. I still chose him though. I don't think he deserves to be relegated this badly to the early prelims after some losses, but whatever. Uh, Obviously, I just broke that down. Said Grant Dawson was gonna win. He did. Islam Makhachev, I'm your replacement. I chose Joel Alvarez to win. Wasn't a great choice. And I chose Ateba Gautier to win against Ozzy Diaz. Please give this guy a better opponent. We need to see how he does against not real fighters. Every guy in the UFC is a real fighter. We need to see how he does against a higher level opponent. He's been fighting straight cans for a little while now. But yeah, that was UFC 328. Awesome card. I really enjoyed watching the main card. I haven't been this happy with the result, even if I'm wrong, in a long time. I don't think I've been this happy. I could be wrong, but since Alex Pereira won the belt back, I think it's honestly the last time I was this happy with a pay-per-view main event. But that's all. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. My last video, in terms of like a few videos in, kind of blew up. Thank you guys for that. Got some new subs off of it. I appreciate all of you. Like, comment, subscribe, uh, whatever you thought of this card. And yeah, that's about it. See you guys in the next video.